Tammuz marks the Hilula of famous rabbi. His name was Rabbi Yosef Moshe Shitrit, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. He was born in English year 1908 and he passed away 1990, 18th of Tammuz. We're talking about 30 years ago. He actually came, I think, from great rabbinic auspices. His father's name was Rab Machluf Shitrit, and his mother's name was Rabbinit Miriam. She, I believe, happened to have come from the Dahan family. So he was born in the year 1908 in one of the four holy cities of Israel called Tiberias, Tiberia, which we've spoken about on various occasions before. Now, when he was young, he would learn under auspices of his father, Rabbi Machluf Shitrit, rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. He obviously was from Tiberias and was the author of the Torah book called Ohelei Shem, it was. And I believe he actually himself came from Morocco, from the area of Tfilalat, a place we've spoken about on various occasions before. This was back in the year 1886. And his father, would go on to become a rabbi, a dayan, a judge in Tiberias, and would be part, let's just say, of the kollel of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes for I think it was a staggering 40 years. And while he was young, it became apparent the brilliance within regards to him as a Torah prodigy, let's just say. He would learn with great rabbis, including Rabbi Chaim Halevi. And I think even at the age of 5 years old, he would start learning Gemara, and he would start learning Talmud Torah over there, and very connected to Rabbi Raphael Bibas. And he was only 6 years of age at that point in time. Now, I think obviously when he was very young, the First World War broke out. It did. And at that point in time, Tiberias really suffered, unfortunately, to a severe extent, I think, where there was a famine. And especially many of the inhabitants of the city of Tiberias would actually suffer from. The war years, that, let's just say, would make some sort of a imprint, big mark on Rabbi Yosef Moshe Shitrit. Unfortunately, he would suffer from tooth decay. It was appointed over. Obviously, there was no dental or dentist treatment in Tiberias, and was apparently, because it was so severe, the pain, he would have to travel to Beirut at one stage in time. Obviously, during the war, this would be definitely very, very dangerous, and obviously very much huge amounts of torment. So it just shows how great the pain was. Come at the year 1925, he would have been about 17 years of age. He would be ordained to actually become a shochet, shkita, or mumcha. He was actually an expert in regards to kosher slaughter. He would actually join and be part very much of the yeshiva, I think close to the kever, the burial plot of the Tana Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes. And then he would start learning in yeshiva, I think in Bet Hadin and Bet Knesset Hagdol Etz Chaim, which is, I think, on the border of the Kinneret, along with other great rabbis and parts of the Jewish court over there. I think especially Rabbi Machluf Shitrit, his father, Rabbi Yaakov Chai Zerichen, who we spoke about on various occasions before. Remember, Rabbi Zerichen, Yaakov Chai Zerichen, was one of the first rabbis we spoke about in this series. We're talking about just over 3 years ago. We did, I think it was maybe the 5th or 6th rabbi. We actually recorded a biography video on. Another great rabbi, Rabbi Yaakov Vaknin, and Rabbi Eliyahu Yaluz. It's really great rabbis. Come at the year 1934, Rabbi Yosef Moshe Shitrit would get married to his wife, Rabbanit Masuda. She happened to come from, I think, a great family. Her father happened to be Rabbi Ahaliav Ochana, very great rabbi. And come with the year 1936, he would actually, I think, very much be part of the Sefer of Kurban Eli Tzor, a book that we've spoken about on various occasions before. He would proofread this book, and I believe this book was actually authored by another great rabbi, Rabbi Mansur Saton, who happened to be the head of Jewish court in Tiberias, rabbi also we've spoken about on various occasions before. 1946 will see him ordained to the rabbinate, to great rabbis of Tiberias, head of Jewish court, obviously Rabbi Yaakov Chai Zerichen, who we spoke about before, and very much he was part of the, let's say, the Ba'ad of the Kehillah, the committee of the Kehillah of Knesset Israel, and I think for 20 years he would work over there as a rabbi of Beit Knesset in Romania, I think quite close to the Tzion Kivro Shel Rambam, if I'm not mistaken, and obviously there'll be the formation of the Medinat Israel. I think he would actually be working to some capacity with the Haganah, it's reported over. And after the Medina was established, I think he would actually be part of the army. He would serve inside the army, for example, as a reserve, and was very active in helping bring in different new immigrants into Tiberias. And obviously for the first 10 years of the state, there was a lot of financial problems and difficulties in the establishment of the state. Many people, let's just say, had to grapple with different financial situations. He was definitely one of them, supported over. And obviously he would be continuing his, let's say, his great amount of Torah works that he was doing all throughout. But I believe he would also, if I'm not mistaken, open up there was a midrash, Ohel Yaakov Belea, if I'm not mistaken. And he would open up his house. He would do huge amount, if I'm not mistaken. I believe also he would open a store shortly after the formation of the state, and will start selling fabrics, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check that. Now, I think come with the year 1953, Rabbi Yaakov Chai Zriken passed away sadly. It's chronicled over. Remember, we spoke about that in the thing. He would dedicate his home to establishing a synagogue and a Beit Midrash, and that's what we mentioned about if you watch that video. Rabbi Yosef Moshe Shitrit, who was, let's say, would take care of, let's say, this great Beit Midrash. He would actually take an integral part of it and help running it and make it thrive and being very much used. And I think the Beit Midrash itself was called Ohel Yaakov Belea. It was a midrash over there, and he would establish more things connected to it and do in a huge capacity in of itself. Now he would be working for the congregation, Rabbi Yosef Moshe Shitrit, all throughout. He was, I believe, secretary of the Poel Mizrahi in Tiberias also, and was part of the Chaver Moatzot, part of the committee of the city in of itself. He would also work as a deputy to the mayor of the city, which is a prominent position, and obviously he'd work as secretary for the Adin of the rabbis of that vicinity, and was part of the Moatzot Datit. It was, and part of also the Chaver Kolelet Rabbi Meir Bal Hanes, so various different positions he would take on. Just shows Abad Yisrael and the importances he found. Now, I believe he passed away on Yudchet Tammuz in the year 1995. After he passed away, I think in the year 2003, it came out through his son, a book called Zichron Lishmo, which is a shut, Shelot Shivot, question and answers, and Drashot books, which we have to point out also. So I think at the time he passed away, he would have been approximately about 87 years of age. Let's explore a few of the highlights from his book. Just looking at the Haimi website over here, I think on page 229 of this book over here, Zichron Lishmi, which was talking over here on this topic about Chagim and Moadim, the different drashot. It says, "Melamed Chanukah al shulchano, shishtadel lachnis emuna b'shvil banav." It's one of his teachings. Another teaching, I think, come from pages 107 to 108. "Melamed li'inyan giluach b'moed, שבכלל התקנה, לא אסרו למתגלחים כל יום." Another teaching, מלמד להחזיר לדור הזה את האמונה בטוב שבאדם. It's in pages 214 to 215. And one more teaching we can say, מלמד אביא לכם ראשון בזכות התאחדות כל ישראל בכל חלקה. This is actually coming from page 227 once again in Zichron Lishmi book. So he was a famous rabbi of his time, a rabbi I believe we mentioned about on several occasions before, and the son of the famous Rabbi Machluf Shitrit. So I very, very much recommend everyone to learn more within regards to great rabbis and friends for the community here. We're learning about great rabbis of yesteryear. If you descend from any of the great Chachamim we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information. If you feel anyone is interested in watching any of these videos, please share these videos also to other people and help grow the community. We can't stress the importances of this enough. If you descend from any of the great rabbis we're speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information. If you feel you descend from any great rabbis specifically, and if you look at our playlist and you don't see that we've recorded about the history of your great ancestor, please let me know more details, and maybe we'll look into it, and maybe even we'll see if we can record a video pertaining to the Chacham. So wish you all well. Shavua Tov, here from the city of Bet Shemesh in Israel. Thank you everyone for watching. Thanks.